Hello, this is Sunil Sunder Raj with the Oradell Sports Round-Up. Today, I'm happy to be speaking with Bridget Cahill, a junior at Ramapo College and also on the Roadrunners women's college basketball team. And more importantly, a graduate of River Dell High School in Oradell back in 2019. Bridget, a multi-star athlete at River Dell High School, playing on the basketball, softball, cross country, and soccer teams. Bridget, just an absolute honor and privilege, to be speaking with you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congrats, Bridget. I was looking at here your stats here this season, the 2021-22 season for the Ramapo College women's basketball team. I mean, averaging 10.8 points per game, 33 minutes of action, shooting 36% from behind the arc, 3.2 rebounds. I mean, the team is, has improved, significantly, said this season. Can you just talk about it, Bridget?
Yeah, of course. We're doing really well this year, and it's interesting. It's a really interesting dynamic because we're such a young team since we didn't have a season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Our sophomore class, it's their first year playing college basketball. So having this young team is really interesting and unique, and I love it because we're all kind of in it together. We have the same experience learning the ropes of college basketball and just having each other's backs all the time. There's only two returners, myself and my co-captain, Allie Werkersheim.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really fun to lead this team. They're a great, great group of girls. And we're getting along really well together. And I think that shows on the court as well.
That's wonderful. I said, 9 wins this season, 8 and 9 in the NJ. I mean, can you talk about it? Playing, it's a very competitive conference, the New Jersey Athletic Conference. Just talk about that, the team again, being able to compete at that highest level, Bridget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the NJAC is a fantastic conference. And with the young team, it has its pros and cons, obviously. There's a bunch of games this year that we really felt, we should have had that we ended up losing. Mm-hmm. Couple against William Patterson, our first game against Stockton. We had leads and we ended up squandering those. But as unfortunate as that is, it really it's ignited us, and we're really excited to just keep getting better, keep pushing, because this year in the NJAC, it's really anybody's year. The tournament's going to be so exciting because there's been a ton of upsets already in the regular season. Mm-hmm. Up and down, all 10 teams, they're so talented. So it's been a really exciting season, just watching the different scores and, being shocked, but simultaneously not really surprised when there's a big upset, because anything can go in the NJAC.
That's true. Let's talk about your own individual accomplishment. I mean, you said again, let's talk about rattled off the numbers. Just talk about that from your first year at Ramapo College on the team to this year. It said you've really, said it just, elevated your game here, and just being able to, again, all that hard work paying off, I'm sure, in practice and training as well. Just talk about that, Bridget.
Mm-hmm. So my freshman year, I was lucky enough to get a decent amount of playing time. And, adjusting to the college level is difficult, but with the help of my coaches, they helped me transition pretty seamlessly. Mm-hmm. And last year, not having a season was so difficult. Yeah. But it obviously just fueled me to work harder, to not take the season for granted. So I've just been working extra hard. And I feel like having this leadership position on the team has also helped me. It's driven me to, be a leader to the younger teammates. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just working extra hard. I want to be a good leader, and that's paid off on the court and games, producing with points, assists,
Yeah, so you've been able to do it across the board, which is, fantastic. Hey, let's talk about head coach Mike Einecker in his 14th season, I believe, is the head coach. Assistant coaches Joseph Kirk, Gina Crawford. Just talk about the support from them and just in terms of leadership as well, from the coaching staff?
I love all my coaches. They're there for us no matter what. Coach Einecker has really helped me with this leadership position. I feel like we have such a good relationship where I can go into his office and we can talk about anything and he will guide me in the right direction, regardless. And Joe and Gina, their support is unwavering. They're always the first, standing up off the bench, cheering everybody on and pulling us aside, giving us really helpful advice, So they're just great. They're a great group of coaches that I have, and we are so lucky.
It's wonderful. Hey, talk about playing at the Bradley Center, state-of-the-art facility. I mean, look at the training centers, but the Bradley Center, talk about, I may be biased, but, in the NJAC, I said the best, facility in the conference. Talk about, putting on that Ramapo College, uniform and playing those home games.
Oh, it's so special. We talk about it all the time. I mean, we are aware of how lucky we are. Our facilities and the arena is so nice. We dub it the best gym in the NJAC for sure. And we're just so lucky, honestly. We also got new jerseys this year for away games. So
very nice.
Yeah, putting on those jerseys, it's a privilege, and I'm honored that I get to do it with the group that I have.
I mean, when you talk about practices, but also the training, we talk about strength training, conditioning being so important. Talk about that because that's important. When you talk about not only for the current players, but then of course prospective athletes and people, freshmen coming in, said for this up later this year. Just talk about that. Plays such an essential role, Bridget.
Oh, it really does. The size, build, and strength of all of the women that I play against once you get to college is just such a leap from high school. And it was really interesting my freshman year because in high school, I never really lifted with weights and strength training. But once you get to college, we have a strength coach, and in preseason, we lift 3 times a week. And it's a whole new experience, but it's vital in, transitioning to the college level because you have to get stronger and faster. And it's helped my game tremendously.
That's great. I don't want to forget about, of course, athletics and administration. Interim Director Athletics Jen Kozlowski, a new president last year, and Dr. Cindy R. Jeb. Can you just talk about? And I think that again is so critical having that that leadership at the top there. Just talk about that as well, Bridget.
Mm-hmm. We are, as a college, so lucky to have this new president. She's absolutely amazing, and her resume speaks for itself. She's just such an impressive person. Mm-hmm. Also with Jan, he's stepped up big time and he's got our backs no matter what. He's like a very supporting AD. Mm-hmm. And, if we have any sort of problem, if any student athlete needs to speak with him, he's always there to hear us and hear us out.
That's great. When I talked to you, I said a couple of years ago, I know that academics, was important to you and, being close to home and the small size of the classes. And I wanted to ask you, just being able to balance out the role as a student athlete. I mean, of course, you've been accustomed to it at River Dell, but I'm wondering, here at the college, level, just how you've been able to maintain that, Bridget.
Yeah, going into Ramapo, I had these expectations. I knew it was a smaller school, so my class sizes would be smaller. And it's really everything I had hoped for. I love the class sizes. And in my major, I've continued to have the same couple of professors for each class. Mm-hmm. So it's really, really awesome because I have such a close bond with a bunch of them. And I know it's really nice to have this small class sizes and getting to know your professors.
Can you just talk about the support from the students? I know that amongst the various teams as well, having covered the men's basketball team for a number of years, that the teams support one another, and that's so beneficial and important. You need that backbone support. Just talk about that, Bridget.
Definitely. The athletic community here is really tight knit. Um, it's gotten even closer this year because of COVID, they the school decided to house all of the athletes together in a certain living area.
Okay.
So all of the athletes are living in the same little village. It's called the CPAs, the College Park Apartments.
Okay.
And so since all of the athletes are living together, I think it's brought us even closer.
Yeah.
And yeah, the support is great. We're really close with our men's basketball team. We've had to travel to a couple games with them. We share a bus, and yeah.
No, that's terrific.
Yeah.
All right, let's transition, of course, to River Dell High School. I'm sure you've been following, said the varsity girls basketball team, they started out the season undefeated 15-0, currently 17-1, excuse me, 6-0 in the Big North Patriot. Having just advanced the big Bergen County women's coaches basketball tournament with a win over Dumont this past Saturday at Pascack Valley High School, into the semifinals and a matchup versus Saddle River Day at Ramapo High School this upcoming Sunday, February 20th. So I wanted to ask you, it's been a couple of years, but 3 years, but what comes to your mind when you see again, the success the varsity girls basketball team is enjoyed this season?
Oh, it's so amazing. It makes me so happy. I'm so proud of them. I'm so happy for Coach Steffner. It's been so fun. I've gotten to a couple games, and it's just great. I'm so upset that Ramapo College isn't hosting the end of the tournament anymore. That would have been really convenient for me. I also saw highlights from the Dumont game.
Yeah.
I was upset I couldn't make it to that one, but that ending was amazing. I'm so proud of, I played with Sophia Fernino and Sarah Vanderback, and they're just great girls, and I'm so happy they are stepping up as seniors and leading this team into such success. It's so awesome to see.
I mean, during your senior year at Riverdale, I mean, you definitely balled out. You had, just put up incredible stats that season. 9 times scoring double figures. You scored 30 points season high against Dwight Morrow, and then dropped 20 against Pascack Valley in the first round of the tournament. So you're not only the tournament well, but also the fact of that year was we talked a young nucleus. So you had lost 3 starters the year before. So I mean, here now at Ramapo College, it's almost like you've come full circle with that. So I just wanted to ask you about that as well, Bridget.
Yeah, I guess that's just the way it's fallen. That's interesting. I feel like I've always had such a young team, but like I said earlier, I do love the dynamic, and this season's not over yet, but we're already just so excited for next season, knowing that so many of the girls will have more experience playing at the college level. And, looking forward to finishing a couple of the games that we couldn't this year. We know we'll continue to work hard and get better and be even more dangerous next season.
I wanted to go back to head coach Lindsay Steffner. Coach Steffner, I mean, you talked about it a couple of years ago, just in terms of how much she played a role in your growth and development, her leadership, and just with the talent that she had available to work with that and make the best out of it. And you've seen the results, pay off. I'm just some of the intangibles that Coach Steffner, not only when you played, brought to the table, but now you even see it, even clearer now in terms of this season, Bridget.
Yeah. Coach Steffner is my biggest influence really in my game. And she has taught me so much I can't even describe. I'm so grateful for her, and having her as a high school coach. I'm just so lucky that she taught me so much, and it's really shown itself in the college level because, there's things that I have that I'm able to do. Let me think. So I'm just trying to word it correctly.
No, it's fine.
There's things that she taught me that I look around at the college level and see that other people, don't have this knowledge or IQ that she taught me. And I'm so grateful. And I think often wow, I'm so lucky I had her as a coach because she taught me all these things that I didn't even know were, not standard, I guess, if that makes any sense. Like, it's hard to articulate the value of, what she taught me, but it's so important.
I think she has taught life lessons, not only on the court, but off the court as well. And I think that's really important, stressing, in terms of community, the school, there's, to really carry yourself like, to a high degree and, and representing the school. And you've seen it with Sarah and Sophia. I mean, Sophia had the game winning, said layup last, Saturday against Duma, and then Sarah with the, the buzzer beater layup, against Jefferson in overtime. And it's just really cool to see, like, again, how far, I mean, every year they've progressed. Hey, senior night is coming up on Thursday against Pascack Hill. So, about everything that goes into all the emotions. I mean, all those 4 years that are going to be encapsulated in one night. I'm wondering, as you speak to the seniors on this year's team, that day, what the emotions are, just in terms of going through that day, preparing for game day, but, you still have to play a game, but then you're also being honored as well by the school. Just talk about that, Bridget.
Senior day is so special at River Dell. The booster club and all the younger teammates really put their all into it and make it extra special for the seniors. It is such an exciting day. It's, a roller coaster of emotions because it's so bittersweet. You always look forward to senior day because, spotlight's on you and you get all the posters, the excitement of the senior day gifts. But obviously you don't want it to end. It's so hard. But then putting that aside and playing a basketball game, it's hard, but it's fun because, you have your teammates there supporting you and Coach Steffner and all the parents. I mean, the community at Riverdale is really just unmatched.
Yes, no, I agree. What did it mean to put that Hawks jersey on those 4 years? What did it represent to you personally, Bridget?
I would say, it was great. It represented a fantastic community. Yeah. And it was such it was such an amazing 4 years. Yeah. The River Edge and Oradell community together really, is special. It's funny that they're two separate towns. We really have one strong community that's brought together through the high school.
That was going to be my next point, asking you about that, because it's so vital. I think that's, it's such an interesting dynamic, when you talk about two towns, but then, coming together and everyone, said being able to, again, contribute to the success of not only the school, but the program.
Exactly.
Talk about the administration and athletics. I think that, of course, arguably maybe one of the best ADs, not only in Bergen County, but I think in the state of New Jersey, and Dennis Nelson. Just talk about Dennis.
Oh, Mr. Nelson was fantastic. The way he runs everything at Riverdale is so smooth. And he's also another one where, anyone could go up and talk to him and he is all ears, ready to help in any way that he can. Yeah. He was always, at all the games supporting his student athletes. He's just really a fantastic AD and person. Yeah.
I've been privileged to see the support from the students, and it's one of the best environments, especially at the home games, but even away games. Just talk about that. Feeding off that energy, Bridget.
Yeah. When you have students like there, it's so exciting. The energy is so, the energy is so high. Yeah. Obviously we love the support of our parents and, that can never be replaced. But once you have the student energy, it's just a whole different vibe. Yeah. And it just brings it up another level.
In terms of family, just talk about, it must be great, I said, being so close to home, in River Edge, having your family, your parents. I know you have 3 siblings, older brother and sister, younger sister. Just talk about that as well, Bridget.
Again, it's really all that I hoped for.
Yeah.
It's come to life, and it's been amazing having them at all the games. And my parents are they're amazing. On Saturday, they drove 2 hours. I had a game in Rowan in Glassboro, and they took the 2-hour drive to come watch me play there.
Yeah.
And so having them at every game is it's amazing, and it's a real motivator. And I'm so lucky to have the parents that I do.
That's special. This might be a long-winded question. I have only just a couple more. In terms of playing basketball, what makes it so special? I mean, you've been playing for so long. Since I said you were a young kid, I said I know we talked, a couple of years ago, 5th grade. I said there were a couple of sports, but then basketball just took over and became the main focal point. But just what is it about the sport? I said every time you go out there on that court, Bridget.
I mean, I can't even tell you. There's something about it draws me, and I'm in love with the sport, really.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, and I also played softball, I remember like my dad, he was kind of in favor. He wanted me to pursue softball in the collegiate level, but something about basketball is just always, number one in my heart. I just love running around on the court, the high pace of the game, the individuality, but also simultaneously team like aspects of the game.
Yeah.
It's layered, and it's so unique. I just love it. The feeling of scoring like a basket or passing, having a great pass and watching your teammate finish. I love it.
I have to ask you, it just popped into my head. Here during the 2 years, any games that have really stood out to you where you sit back and say, wow, like I was able to, accomplish that during the game, and just had to ask you about that.
Yeah. My freshman year, it was against Stockton. It was home.
Yeah.
And it was a really close game, but I ended up hitting a 3 with, I think, under half a minute left to put us in the lead. And then also they then fouled me, and I hit the 2 free throws to seal the game. That was so special because I was a freshman too, having this, stepping up big and hitting that shot was obviously felt amazing. And this year, more recently, the NJCU game was really exciting. Throughout the whole game, I wasn't shooting very well. I was 1 for 7 from the 3-point line, but then ended up hitting what put us ahead in the second overtime. It was a 4-point play.
Oh, wow.
And because it was tied, obviously, at the end of regulation. Yeah. And then we had a tough first overtime. Both teams only scored 5 points. So we made it to the second overtime. And again, back and forth. It was, kind of a stalemate until I hit a 3 and got fouled and was able to hit the free throw. And I mean, it was really exciting.
Yeah.
We, that game was really crucial in our growth as a team because we felt that we really were working the ball well, passing, looking for open teammates. And that's eventually what got me open for the 3.
That's great. I'm wondering, when the first time you put a Hawks jersey on freshman year, and then even here at Ramapo College, what because that's something that is, you'll carry for the rest of your life. That never, goes away. I'm wondering when you look back, what those moments were like, for you, again, taking the court and, wearing that jersey.
Yeah, the excitement as a freshman is really unique. And I love the feeling, you kind of feel you have to work extra hard. You have something to prove.
Yeah.
Doing it as a freshman at River Dell, it was really exciting because we had a brand new coach. It was Lindsay Steffner's first year when I was a freshman. And so, people didn't really know what to expect, and I didn't either because I didn't know her. But she gave me amazing opportunities as a freshman. I swung between JV and varsity, and I got, some varsity minutes that were definitely really helpful in helping me grow as a player. And then at Ramapo, college in general is such a big adjustment, and it's so exciting and also nerve-wracking at the same time. And then also adding a sport to that it was so, exciting, nervous. There's just so many emotions that go into it. And like I said earlier, Coach Einecker trusted me enough and gave me a decent amount of playing time as a freshman. I was so lucky, and honestly didn't know what to expect. So the more I played, I was really happy. I was so excited. I was like, oh, maybe, I went into it, maybe I won't play at all. Maybe I'll get 5 minutes a game, 10, but I ended up, getting more like 15, 20, 25 minutes. And it was amazing.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Okay. The last couple, and I know this is an important topic, and I thought I would just ask you about is women in sports. I think it's become, such an important topic, social media, there are, causes out there as well that are important in terms of growing women's sports, especially college basketball. Just talk about, that as well, Bridget.
It's amazing to see the attention on social media that women in sports are getting. The growth in the NCAA tournament to be more inclusive towards women and more equal is awesome to see. As much as it, wasn't good to see the inequalities of last year's tournament. I know a lot surfaced about that. Obviously that wasn't good to see, but the turnaround and the response of the NCAA, I was really happy to see it this year.
That's great. We talked a couple of years ago about your advice for younger kids and athletes, and I know that you talked about setting that example for younger kids in terms of working hard and having that passion. You've done a great job giving back, I know, to River Dell as well, with the camp. So just talk about that, continuing, that effort, to spread, not only the game of basketball, but I think sports in general, because again, you've been a multi-sport, athlete. Just talk about that, Bridget.
So talk about, wait, what exactly do you want me to talk about?
Just what you're continuing, I guess what your advice would be for younger kids and athletes, because there's so much going on, like right now. We talked about social media. There are a bunch of outside influences, but just what your message would be, for kids, especially in this climate, as they're trying to move up the ladder, and maybe for especially young girls as well, that eventually one day maybe want to be a Bridget Cahill and end up starting for Ramapo College women's basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche, but you just have to work hard and continue to find people who will support you and who will have your back no matter what, because it's hard to do it alone. But having great coaches and great teammates is crucial in continuing to get better, because they'll push you and help you out. But no matter what, you do have to rely on yourself and work hard and just find that passion, because without the passion, there's nothing to work for.
True. Okay, Bridget, we're coming with a new segment, my interviews that the athlete, gets the last word. So in terms of family, friends, coaches, teammates, River Dell High School athletics administration, and also the towns of Oradell and River Ridge, especially River Ridge, where you're from. The floor is yours, Bridget.
Oh, I would like to say thank you to everyone in all those, things you just mentioned: friends, family, Riverdale, I would not be where I am today without any of them. And I'm just so grateful uh, for the path that I have, for the road that's gotten me here. It's really built me into the person I am today. So
Sounds good. Go
yeah,
ahead.
thank you.
Hey, Bridget, once again, just a true honor and privilege, being able to interview you again. And congrats on your success
Thank you
again at
so much.
Ramapo College on they said the women's college basketball team. And just keep up the great work, and looking forward to seeing what you do in the NJAC tournament and moving ahead.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything.